see the security fence down there? I saw that this guard was coming after me. I saw that another one was coming out to try to head me off. I tried to sidestep him. They both caught me, landed on top of me, and on the ground, with their full body weight pressing down on my body, started twisting back my thumbs like this, trying to pull them right over the top of my hand. As far as I could see, they were trying to break my thumbs. And all the time, I mean, from the very beginning, as soon as I landed on the ground, I was saying, I'm not fighting you, I'm not resisting, just leave me off the site, which they have a legal duty, they can leave me off the site. They're only allowed to use minimum necessary force to get me off, no more than that. And that's not, well, that looks like they're just about to do the same.
3 red hats coming at you.
Just finishing off an interview, it will be 2 minutes.
If you don't move off, we will be able to use reasonable force to do so.
Yes, that's what we're just talking about.
I could see what was coming. I knew what was coming. As we got towards excuse me, I'm just finishing this.
Is he actually doing anything?
Look, what am I actually doing?
Still on the site, onto the road. Hang on, we're being vicious.
They're carrying out a police role in that they are removing people from a construction site. These private security guards that are hired by the contractors who are hired by the Department of Transport. So they are acting in a public role, removing people, but they're not subject to the same statutory regulation that their police counterparts are.
You are under arrest for assault!
Listen, you want a fucking bullet in your fucking ass? You want a fucking bullet in your ass? Don't fuck yourself, okay? Don't fuck yourself. You understand?
Yeah, that's assault. Right, that's assault.
Their only driving force, of course, is profit, they're paid to do a job, and they do that job, and sometimes, of course, the profit motive will win out. There's no principles, there's no codes of practice, there's no duties on security firms, as there are on other public officials, particularly the police.
In the United Kingdom, although people may not expect this kind of thing to happen, it does. And people sustain physical injuries because of the way they are treated either by police officials or private security guards acting in a public role.
That one! Stop it! Stop it! Come on then!
Very boy, eh?
Oh shit! Now.
A person can use minimum reasonable force in the circumstances. And reasonable force is not defined, but it's obviously left to the courts or the individual to decide what is reasonable force. And if a person's coming at you with a gun, then it's reasonable force to use a gun against them.
It's been assaulted, it's been headbutted, you've got 3 witnesses, you've got it on film, this man here's got it on film, and you're not doing anything about it. I want you to do your job, arrest this man.
It's been suitably advised, right?
It's what?
It's been suitably advised, go to the police station.
No, that's not good enough. Every other time we get arrested and taken away to the police station, we want you to do your job and arrest this man.
I'd like to see the police actually take an even hand. They always say they're only there as sort of piggy in the middle to prevent breaches of the peace and breaks of the criminal law. But they've never, as far as I've seen, or very rarely, been prepared to step in and stop security guard violence.
Do you feel you're invading people's privacy by filming? Have you had much training as a photographer?
At the time of the campaign, there'd almost certainly be some kind of covert filming going on, perhaps from a van or series of vans or cars. And if you want to put the frighteners on, as it were, then you might also openly film them so that the more weak-willed ones go home and they're perhaps a bit reluctant to come back again. Once you've got where they live and what they look like, you can then take away their rubbish. That'll show you everything, really, about the person. Even if they've thrown away an envelope that their bank statement came in from the PO box number and so forth on the envelope, you'll know where their bank account is.
I think there's a certain person who's he's got a problem against me, yeah? And is there any way of, like, following him or tapping his phone or anything just to see what he's up to?
We don't do that sort of thing, but perhaps a private detective agency, there should be somebody in the Yellow Pages.
Hello, is that Mr. Ellicombe? Hello, I'd like to talk to you about the Data Protection Act and the files that you've gathered on me.
They have been hired by the Department of Transport, using public money, to spy on road protesters around the country. We know they've been used at Bath, we know they've been used at London, we know they've been used at the Wyndham campaign in Norfolk, and they've been used at Twyford Down. And Twyford Down alone cost £250,000 to employ them. And they've said that because they are actually contracted by a government department, they think, or they seem to think, that they're immune from data protection laws.
I know definitely that private investigation companies are employed on government projects. I can certainly see that it would be, there are fewer questions to ask, and if the right answers aren't forthcoming, then, oh look, it's an unqualified private investigator that's broken the rules. It isn't a government department.
So, do you have any special contacts with the police then?
We keep the special branch, if you like, informed at their request, and they sit in on crisis action plans. In the case of emergency, we dial 2 digits or 3 digits, whatever it is, and suddenly we get the right help.
But how do you get that inside information? I mean, can you
straight from the police themselves. We staged managed a protest on the M11. We knew there's some high-powered government ministers coming down to have a look, who frankly weren't believing all the aggravation that was going on. What we did is we said, right, the ministers are arriving between 10 and 12. Can you make damn sure you're up at compound 3? And if you're going to have a demonstration, have one outside of there. And that's exactly what they did.
Although there are some elements within the police and within the Crown Prosecution Service who are reluctant to prosecute, we have had some notable successes. I think particularly of Richard Cheshire and Michael Smith, who were actually jailed for pushing a saboteur in front of a moving vehicle.
What's it feel like to have your second conviction for violence, Mr. Cheshire? Would you like to comment on that?
Never let a case drop. If you let a case drop, then there are unfortunately too many people in the criminal justice system who are happy just to let it slide by the wayside. You really have to keep pushing.
We should be using the law to our advantage. We should be saying, well, look, hold on, you can't get away with violence, and the courts are there to protect all its citizens, not just big companies, but the ordinary people in the street, and that includes protesters.
Where are you going, lads?
Well, we're just going up to give these some paperwork.
They'll come down to you.
Huh?
They'll come down to you.
They're going to come down. That's fine. That's fine.
Just walking up the stairs, man. I'm saying come outside, mate, please.
I only need to put this on the floor and observe it, so it won't make any difference. We'd actually arrived to file the injunction papers on this construction worker because in the past he's attacked protesters with a shovel. And he actually turned his crane round and he dumped a whole bucket of water, bricks, rubble on top of one of the protesters who was there actually to file the writ on him.
We've come to serve a county court writ on you, and we have a legal right to come near you and serve it. You just can't handle it, can you? You can't handle it. Give him the writ. Yes! Yes! Got it! Have a belly for it. Come here! Yeah! Come here, you are the fucking belly full, eh? Go on, hit me, go on. Eh? Go on, hit me. Don't fucking throw this fucking shite in here.
So can you tell me how you feel? Because he just dumped 3 buckets of crap all over people.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
How would you feel if he
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
I'll play it back to you. How would you feel if it was true?
I didn't see it.
Will you take responsibility if it's true?
No.
You won't take responsibility if one of your construction workers...
He's not my construction worker.
Who do you work for?
Mind your own business.
You work for the DOT?
Mind your own business.
You're a contractor?
Mind your own business.
does count as served.
We should be using the law to our advantage. We should be saying, well, look, hold on, you know, you can't get away with violence, and the courts are there to protect all its citizens, not just big companies, but the ordinary people in the street, and that includes protesters.